Harry Potter Quidditch Champions might just be the game that every Harry Potter fan needs right now. It is fun, it is casual, but you can also take the competitive side very, very seriously. From being able to play as every role in the team, to the career mode, to the PvP, and just setting up your own matches for whatever you feel like doing, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is honestly a lot of fun and has a lot to offer. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Harry Potter Quidditch Champions video. Today we're going to be talking about the game and how good it is, honestly, because I am having so much fun with this game. It is so addicting. The gameplay loop is seriously fun, and it surprised me in a lot of ways. When this game was initially announced and shown off, I was skeptical because this was something that a lot of people wanted in Hogwarts Legacy. It's what people want in Harry Potter, is to be able to play Quidditch and live out that fantasy. So when a separate game was announced, a lot of people, and me included, were probably really skeptical. But honestly, Harry Potter Quidditch Champions is a delightful surprise because the gameplay loop, like I said, is a lot of fun. Being able to play as the chaser, the beater, the seeker, and the keeper, and having the ability to alternate between roles, both in PvP and in the normal career mode, is actually way better than I thought it would be. I'll start off with the career mode because that was the first thing I did, and it was what I was most excited for. The game starts you off in the Weasley Cup, and this is basically teaching you how the game works, how each different role works, and it teaches you the rules of Quidditch. Now in this version of Quidditch, the snitch is worth 30 points, the quaffle through any of the 3 hoops is worth 10 points, and it's 100 points to win, or whoever has the most points at the end of the time limit. It is also 6v6, whereas in the books and the movies, Quidditch is 7v7. So they've taken one of the beater roles out of the team so that it is only one beater per team, which honestly I don't mind. There's probably some game design balance in there. Having 2 beaters might have been a little too intrusive. Just imagine how ridiculous it would have been to be able to have 2 people firing bludgers at you and having them tackle you. It would have been a bit annoying to have 2 people be doing that. So it makes sense to bring down probably the most intrusive role in Quidditch down to 1 player per team. And because of that, the 6v6 setup is kind of balanced really well, especially with the new point system, the way the Golden Snitch works. It's actually really satisfying to play every role in the career mode and switch between them. I've found the most fun playing as the chaser specifically, but seeker is probably a close second. Now once the game teaches you everything you need to know, it moves you on to the Hogwarts Cup. And here you can choose between any of the 4 houses and fight to win the Hogwarts Quidditch Cup. For me, this is really nostalgic to be in that Quidditch ring again after God knows how long since playing the initial Quidditch game back in 2003. And having it alternate between different seasons and looks of the stadium was just really cool to see. The game actually looks pretty decent. A lot of people were criticizing the art style and the graphics. I honestly really dig it. It's a casual sort of sports game that has a casual sort of look to it. And honestly, graphically, it's pretty stunning. My 2 favorite sort of settings at the moment have been the summer season Quidditch pitch with the sun and all the colors and every stadium set up on display in the Hogwarts Stadium, and then also the snowy wintry season of that stadium is really cool. I also find it interesting how they've set up each of the cup competitions. Seeing as we're on the Hogwarts Cup right now, let's start with that. It goes from placements to brackets to the final, and then it determines the winner from there. The way the placements works is even if you lose, whatever points you earned in that match, you still carry over to the entire scoreboard and it adds up to the total. So even if you lose a couple matches, long as you're high scoring and you manage to win 1 or 2, you're probably gonna make it through to the bracket stage, which is the knockout stage. If any of you are familiar with the Champions League format, or at least the old one now, I guess, it's very similar to that. And I really dig this system. I really dig this way of doing it. It equals up to roughly 5 matches per cup tournament, at least in the Hogwarts Cup. And from there you move on to the Triwizard School Quidditch Cup, where you go up against Durmstrang or Beauxbaton or Hogwarts, depending on which team you pick to represent. And then the last cup is the Quidditch World Cup, where you have 16 nations going at it in an all-out tournament format. And the Quidditch World Cup was by far the most satisfying. The Quidditch World Cup Cup and the Hogwarts Cup were the best for me. Hogwarts purely for nostalgia and love of the Harry Potter movies and books, but the Quidditch World Cup as a gameplay format was probably the more satisfying one for me. Having 16 nations, having Australia on the board was really cool. I'm sure there's going to be other nations added later down the line. Two big ones that are quite obviously missing here for anyone that is familiar with the books or movies and the Quidditch World Cup. Bulgaria and Ireland are not selectable in this roster right now. Even though you can see a Daily Prophet newspaper in the background that mentions the final between Ireland and Bulgaria, you cannot play as either of those countries. So I think they're going to come later on, along with Victor Crumb being a hero, and I'm sure a few Irish players as well. Which moves me on to my next point, which is the customization. Honestly, it's pretty good, but unlocking stuff can be quite lengthy. There's no microtransactions, so it's not locking anything behind a paywall, but you do have to grind quite a bit of gold and winged keys, which are the other currency in the game, to unlock cosmetics and hero skins and brooms and such like that. The brooms are also customizable, but they have skills and you can level them up. I highly recommend you do this by doing the career mode before you jump into the online multiplayer, because I'm fairly sure all these stats carry over to PvP. So if you go straight into multiplayer PvP and you've got a level 1 broom, you could be going up against people with level 5 brooms, which would put you at a disadvantage. In saying that though, the PvP is really fun. The matchmaking so far has been pretty even for me. There's been some really tight matches which I've thoroughly enjoyed. Catching that last second snitch to equal the scores out to put it into sudden death is like the best thing. It's that 90-minute goal in football, you know, it's that feeling. And honestly, the feeling that this game captures for the Quidditch game is on point. You feel like you're playing Quidditch. The game mechanics and how it controls are really satisfying. I was worried that the broom was going to feel too floaty and light, and that tackles and stuff were going to not really feel that satisfying, but they pack a punch. The broom flies really nicely. You can do some cool tricks with it, some cool maneuvers, drifting it and dodging out the way of bludgers and players' tackles and stuff. This game does a really good job of making Quidditch satisfying and capturing the essence of the Quidditch game from the books and the movies, whilst also keeping it balanced by changing the rule set ever so slightly. I will also say on the PvP, for those concerned about it being 3v3 with 3 bots taking up the additional spots and you can switch to those bots, the devs have said that they will make the game 6v6 in the PvP competitive mode at a later date, I think this year. So if you maybe want to wait and hold off till that, then absolutely do so. But honestly, the game is really fun as it stands, so I'd highly recommend picking it up now. But if that's something that's holding you back, then it is coming, just at a later date. I also really want to see ranking systems. I want to see that bronze, silver, gold, platinum levels to the online mode. Give something for players to progress to, because that's something the game is missing right now in the online mode. As fun as it is, I want a bit more progression besides picking up cosmetics and profile pictures and robes and all this other stuff. I want something tangible like a rank to strive for. Give me a reason to get good at the game in an online setup. Because honestly, from the ranking system, this game could potentially go onto the esports world stage. Honestly, because the game, as casual as it is, I'm sure there are some cracked players out there that will be absolutely insane to watch at a very professional level. And just think of the atmosphere of that esports live event. People dressed up in Hogwarts colors, their houses and stuff, representing their teams, their countries, in a Quidditch format. I think that would be very cool. So yeah, those are sort of the things I want to see in the online modes. This game is just a good amount of fun, especially if you've got a PlayStation. You can grab it for free right now. It's part of the September monthly games on PlayStation Plus Extra. So if you don't feel like paying the 50 Australian dollars or 30 US dollars for the game, then I highly recommend you pick it up on PlayStation Plus if you have a PlayStation, because it is on both PS4 and PS5. One last thing on the game, real quick, is the sound design is actually pretty decent. Catching the ball, the noise it makes, those crunch tackles, hitting someone with the beater, it's all very satisfying gameplay, and the sound design really enhances that. The music is pretty decent. You're not gonna catch any familiar songs in here, I don't think. I haven't come across any, but the music still feels very Harry Potter-esque. The commentators are fun, if a little limiting at times. Some of the voice lines repeat, and it is a little weird hearing some of the voices, especially Rita Skeeter commentating the World Cup stage is very odd to me. She's got some funny lines in there, but it would have been way more satisfying to have like a real sort of classical sports commentator maybe, even if it was a character we knew, not that it necessarily had to be. I'm sure this is something they'll build upon as they add stuff into the game, like they've already said they will. There will be seasons, there will be more maps, there will be more cosmetics. I'm sure there will be more hero skins, like I said, more teams. They've got Ilvermorny's Quidditch Stadium in the game, so I'm sure at some stage we'll start to see schools being added that you'll be able to play as, like Ilvermorny, like other wizarding schools around the world. So I'm very keen to see where this game progresses. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, you feel like playing a casual sort of sports game that really does a good job of capturing the essence of Quidditch and making it a really fun, engaging, addictive gameplay loop, then this game is for you. Harry Potter Quidditch Champions, I highly recommend to Harry Potter fans. Even if you're not a Harry Potter fan and you're into games like Rocket League or even FIFA, and you want a bit of a more casual fantasy sports game to scratch that very specific itch, then this is a very good game to do that. And I'm having so much fun with it. Very keen to see where this game goes. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of the game so far. Have you played it yet? Have you not? Are you waiting to pick it up on a sale or something? Do you think it's worth the price? Like I said, it's free on PlayStation Plus, and that is a really positive thing. It will help build the player base. So let me know in the comments down below what you think of the game so far. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more Harry Potter Quidditch Champions videos. Become a member today if you want to support me in another way. You'll get early access to videos and live streams. And thank you so much for watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!